Well, the White House reportedly preparing a 3-year campaign to combat the terrorist army of ISIS, a move that could outlast the presidency of Barack Obama. But meanwhile, the top Democrat in the House Intel Committee is now saying that the president should have acted stronger earlier.
I think the president made a mistake when he did not come out as strong after we had an American's head cut off, not one but two. At that point, we should have, I believe he should have stood up and very strongly said, we're not going to take it, we're going to come after you, and we're going to bring you to justice. And I think the president realized that he had to be stronger. The vice president, who came out and said, we're going to follow you to the gates of hell, that's what we needed to hear.
KT McFarland is the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense under the Reagan administration and a Fox News national security analyst. KT, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You say much of what we heard, we've already heard and done some of.
Yeah, you know, the president, if he's coming out on Wednesday and he's going to talk about the 3 prongs to his policy, he's talked about some of that before. The problem is with the president, words often don't correlate to deeds. He'll come out and say, you know, if you like your health care plan, you can keep it. Turns out you couldn't. He said, we're arming the Kurds. Well, no, we haven't. ISIS, we're going after ISIS. No, we really haven't. Al-Qaeda's finished. No, it's not. So the question will be, will he follow the words that he's going to say with deeds? We know that he is bombing, the United States is bombing in Iraq. That's great. We should bomb every ISIS convoy that moves. But the second part of it, forming the coalition, he's talked about forming a coalition for the last year. Will he do it? Will he get Arab boots to be on the ground instead of American boots on the ground? And then finally, the part of it, well, would we go into Syria? Would we bomb in Syria? Would we get a coalition going of the Syrian rebel forces and support them? Again, a lot of it is will he deliver on the words. But, Martha, what bothers me about everything that the president's done and any American leader has done in the last 2 weeks is, what about the Homeland? You know, David Cameron, the British Prime Minister, when confronted with these beheadings and when confronted with the ISIS threat, he went to his people and he said, we're going to protect the Homeland. We're going to seize passports. We're going to follow terrorists. We're going to deny entry to people we think have been fighting in that region. We're going to go after hate crimes. None of that was talked about in the United States, and yet here we are on the anniversary of September 11th.
That is a huge piece of this puzzle. And Peter King talked about it a little bit over the weekend, very concerned as we head into this 9/11 anniversary. And as you say, David Cameron came out with guns blazing in terms of his own plan at home, that they were going to put in a temporary situation where they would be able to pull passports of anybody that they suspect. We have no information, really, and you, I know, have talked to people as well as I have about what we're doing at home to kind of form a task force that would start tracking down these passports of these people that we're concerned about. That does not appear to be happening. The other thing that is of concern is this larger question that was also raised by Dutch Ruspersberger. Let's listen to this part.
I'm willing to do what we need to do, but I don't want to tell ISIS what we're going to do before we do it. And I think that's what concerns me, to just say go in and bomb them. We need to get results, like we have done in Iraq in Afghanistan and in Pakistan. And we have gone in and we very effectively took out the leadership in that area.
The element of surprise and the element of instant action. The moment when a president comes on TV in the morning and says, last night we did this, this, and this, people of America, and now we're going to Congress to seek approval for more. That we haven't seen that at all.
No, and the president keeps saying, look, my policy is don't do stupid stuff. I get that. But sometimes you have to do some stuff. And that's what we've not seen. And so, for example, your point about Homeland Security and the American public, and are we reassured that it's all under control? I'd like the president to come out and say, look, we've got this covered. We're not going to go into any details, but we have it covered. We have secured our southern border. We are confident that people coming into the United States through TSA are being looked at. We're confident we know who's doing the fighting in ISIS, whether they're American passport holders or European passport holders. We got a handle on it. I don't want to know the details. I just want to be reassured. And that's what's been missing.
Yeah, and we haven't, as we say, we haven't had any mention of that, of a program, because we know that, we've got this huge watch list, and I keep wondering about these hundreds of passports. How do they identify that it's hundreds of passports? They must have a handle in some way on how many people there are out there, and that would lead you to believe that they're on some sort of list, or at least one version of their 5 names is on some sort of list. But you don't seem to have any confidence that that's happening.
And I think we would have heard something. when you look at all the mistakes that have happened and all the near misses we've had for terrorist incidents in the United States, a lot of them have happened because the list is too big. They fell through the cracks. Whether it's the Boston bomber, the underwear bomber, the Times Square bomber, these were people that were all in our sights, but we lost track because we're looking at everybody. I think political correctness has taken a front seat to American security. And political correctness of treating 350 million Americans the same way, let's just zero in on the very tiny percentage who have behavior patterns that are suspicious and look like terrorist behavior patterns, and focus like a laser on them.
All right. KT, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.